We're starting off today at the Bennington Museum, and I'm here with Stephen Perkins, the Executive Director of the museum. And I'd like to start off by saying, Steve, thanks for inviting us in.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know there's a lot going on here, so we're going to take you on a tour of the new entrance where Steve and I are standing. And but before we go into the gift shop, can you go through some of the events that you have coming up here at the museum?
Absolutely. In May, it's a very busy month. Of course, we have Historical Society programs that are ongoing, and our educational programs that are ongoing, and our exhibits, but some really fun stuff coming up. May 14th is a brew and food pairing, and we're really looking forward to that.
That's at the museum?
We're actually going to hold it at the Old Paradise Restaurant.
Excellent.
Right down the road, but it benefits the Bennington Museum. Of course, we're working with our good friends Mel and Mike Madison from Madison Brewing Company.
And you also do the Brew Fest in the fall.
Absolutely, and that's scheduled for October 2nd, so put that on your calendar as well. But we have, I believe, 8 local restaurants who are going to be providing different tastings of different foods, and Mel is going to be pairing those up with regional brews, all Vermont area brews. Rock art and some of your more, I won't say obscure, but artisanal brews. So it's going to be a fun event.
Great. Do you know some of the restaurants or yet?
Sure. Well, of course, Madison's is going to be involved. Isabella's has signed on. I believe Allegro is going to be participating as well. Kevin's will be. He's got a brew. What did he say? A wing for every beer. So we'll see what he does too.
That's good wings.
So yeah, a lot of the area restaurants will be participating. So definitely check our website, check back, we'll have tickets for sale.
What's your website?
BenningtonMuseum.org.
Okay, so the website will have all of these events, plus we were just talking with Sue Strano here, the events that go all the way through September.
Absolutely.
We're going to list them all, but she had a sheet both sides full of events.
It goes on forever. And just the other big event that's happening in May is the opening of our State of Craft exhibit, something we've been working on for 4 years here at the museum. So 125 different pieces in the exhibit by 85 different craftspeople from around the state. Incredible jewelry, glasswork, furniture, you name it, is in this show. I'm looking forward to the copper dragon that's going to be installed in the courtyard outside the museum. It breathes steam.
Oh, no kidding. How big is it? Is it like,
I don't know, let's hold our hands up and do something like this, but it's going to be on a pedestal out there, and the kids from the school are going to come over and help install it. They're actually installing it on April 30th, so if you're around on April 30th.
kids will be outside installing it with the crew?
With it, yeah.
All right, now tell us a little more about State of Craft. That is a statewide project?
It's a statewide project. We started working on that with the Vermont Crafts Council almost 4 years ago now. And it's looking at people who have come to Vermont or grew up in Vermont and make their living with their hands, producing craft or art. It blurs that line. And we're showing all of the artists who are highly influential in this series of craft. And they prefer to be called craft artists. I'm tripping over my tongue here. It's hard to describe what they're doing. But like I said, furniture, glass, pottery, spectacular pieces. One of my favorite pieces that's coming in is a Nautilus lamp, and I believe it's 48 inches wide, and it looks like a nautilus, this shell, like a snail with these tentacles coming out of it, all carved out of wood. It's going to be hanging from the ceiling upstairs in the museum.
Well, I can't wait to see. You've talked about it a lot, so it sounds like it's going to be very interesting. And is part of the show traveling through the state? Or you are the focal point of the state?
We are the focal point of the state event, and there are going to be what they call showcase events throughout the state. So towns and communities throughout Vermont are hosting exhibits, programs, dinners, you name it, in conjunction with the exhibit here in Bennington.
But this exhibit is only here?
It's only here. This is the focal point. It's being advertised throughout the region, and the state of Vermont has picked this up as their push for their heritage program this year, and so the state of Vermont is very much behind it. You'll see us on local television as well. So,
and when does it start?
May 22nd
until
October 31st.
Through the whole summer.
Yep, and we're having an open house over Memorial Day weekend in conjunction with Mayfest. So we encourage everybody to go down to Mayfest, check out our booth, and come up here to the museum and see the exhibit, and admission is on us for that day.
Make sure that's a stop when you're at Mayfest. It's maybe 2 hours that you can spend at Mayfest, but while you're downtown, make sure you stop up the museum and take in the exhibit. and it's complimentary. Is
Absolutely.
it for everybody or just
For everybody.
Okay.
Everybody that
Good
day.
to hear. Good to hear. We're going to get back to some of the work that you did in the lobby of the museum, and huge difference. It's a nice welcoming feeling as you're coming in. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you did out here, or why you did it?
Sure. Well, we did it to make the museum more welcoming. If you remember before, you came in and right about where we're standing was a big, huge desk, your admissions desk. So you came into the museum, you had to turn right, then you had to turn left, avoid a post, and then you came to this admissions desk. And the museum shop was then behind the admissions desk. And we really felt that, well, that's not terribly welcoming. How can we make this so when visitors come into the museum, they say it's a nice wide open space, they have easy access to the bathrooms, they're welcome to come into the sales shop, talk to our visitor services staff, and enjoy the museum. So it was a very simple change, actually, and our own maintenance staff actually did all the work. So
oh, really?
You look at it, oh my gosh, this was an expensive project.
Yeah.
It would have been if we didn't have such a great maintenance staff. They did it all themselves. So yeah, we took the counter out, put in a little laminate floor here, new doors, which you come in, obviously you can't see behind the camera. And then the biggest thing was we cut another door through the wall. So you have an arcaded entrance into our sales shop. And our hope is that the visitor feels that this is it's a warm and welcoming place. And also for our local visitors to know that it's free to come into the museum this far. You can come in, you can look at the lobby displays, you can come shop in our gift shop, see a lot of the unique pieces that we carry here. There's no charge to do any of that.
Great, so it's a nice place if you're out looking for that special gift. This is definitely a place to stop. It doesn't cost anything to get in. You get to look around the gift shop and pick up some really interesting items. And thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It's good.
Well, I told you our next stop was down at one of our favorite places, and here we are at the Apple Barn on Route 7 South. I'm here with Leah Diamond, the owner of the Apple Barn. And Leah, again, thanks for letting us come down and film.
Oh, thank you for having us.
As I mentioned, it's not only is it one of our favorite places, but you're holding on to one of my favorite things in the whole world. What do you have there?
These are apple cider donuts. I make them in the morning, made with lots of love, apple cider, water, and our ingredients.
Now, I stopped down this morning, and you gave us a few donuts to take with us. And what time, and the best part was when I talked to you, you said get down here now because they were coming out hot. What time was that?
Oh, probably about 8:20. I start at 8 o'clock in the morning. I usually stop about 8:30 with my first batch, and then I'll continue about 9, so the donuts generally in the morning are hot.
Oh, incredible. So in the morning, this is the place to stop. So between about 8, what time do you open?
8:30, but if the doors aren't open, you can always knock on the employee entrance, and we always allow everybody to come in.
Okay, so I recommend from now on, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, bang in the back door of the Apple Barn. It was worth the trip. Hot apple cider donuts coming right out of the fire and coated in cinnamon and sugar. Just don't get any better than that. But you have one new item this year that, as we've been trying to film, people have been coming in one after another buying already. And it's only April.
Yes.
What is that new item?
Maple soft serve ice cream. We make it here with a grade C maple and a vanilla soft serve base. We mix it here on premise, and it's been a real #1 seller. So if you haven't tasted it yet, please come on down for some samples.
Before we close the show, I want to sit down with Leah for a few more minutes and talk about Mayfest. You all know Mayfest will be coming up for the 25th year. It occurs on Memorial Day weekend, which, regardless of what you've been reading on local calendars, it's not on the 22nd. It still is on the 29th. And this year, Leah's going to be joining us
Yes.
For the Apple Barn.
And we look forward to it.
Okay, what are you going to have at your booth?
We're going to have pie a la mode, and we're going to be serving that with the vanilla Wilcox ice cream. And we're going to have our famous apple cider donuts. We're going to bring chocolate chip chunk cookies and oatmeal cookies, and our fresh made pasteurized cider as well.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. We're glad you're going to join us for Mayfest. Mayfest, again, is May 29th.